Yeah. All right.
We are live.
Hello and welcome
Hello.
to Shaolin Sofa. Let me give you one of these. I'm Max,
I am.
and we're gonna Shaolin Sofa tonight about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2:
The sword of density.
of Destiny.
Density.
Destiny.
It's really thick.
All right. That pretty much actually sums up the whole movie. It's really thick.
Yeah.
Like I watched the first Crouching Tiger one time, 83 years ago when it came out, and I never ever went back to it. Actually, that movie put me off of the wire work kung fu style, like with the sweeping, like they all jump and they float in the air. They look like Peter Pan for 25 seconds as they're kind of like zipping around, and it's I don't know. I just always think of people flying through the air and look cooler than that, and I don't think the technology allows for. But anyway, Crouching Tiger, watched it. It wasn't a classic when it came out, like pretty much instantaneously.
Yeah. I mean,
Chow Yun
I
Fat.
watched. Yeah. While the wire work does look a bit dated now, I mean, it still has. It holds its own in story and pacing. I mean, it's a really like pretty film.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, all the backgrounds are lush and everything. I mean, it looks really nice.
The first one.
Yeah, this manages to get most of what that film got right wrong.
Yeah. Oh shit.
You broke it.
Okay, cool. They couldn't afford the cast from the last one, and obviously Chow Yun Fat died, so he's not coming back. But instead of like getting those dudes from the raid, they got Donnie Yen, they got Michelle Yo, which is awesome. They're still great. Like pretty much they elevate any fight scene that they're in. But yeah, other than that, there's not really many good things to say about this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you took like one of those like epic Shaw Brothers scripts, like the Five Deadly Venoms or Dragon Inn or something, where there's a huge cast of characters and then they all kind of meet up at the end and beat the snot out of each other. Except that doesn't happen. You get all these characters with these like flashbacks of backstory that I thought I forgot from the first film, but as they go on, I'm pretty sure that they weren't there.
No.
They're just there for filler. And it's like, well, your mother switched you at birth and then raised me and then taught me kung fu, and then when she died, I was supposed to find you. And it's just, it doesn't add anything to the film except for 10 minutes of backstory. And most of this is pretty obviously shot like on a lot somewhere.
Yeah.
And just had the background put in with CGI.
And the CGI is not great. It's cheap CGI. Like it looks like 2005, and you're supposed to suspend your disbelief. The Uncanny Valley?
Yeah.
It doesn't quite do it. I'm just.
When did this thing start, by the way?
What, the Uncanny Valley?
Uncanny Valley. Yeah.
I'm not sure where it originated from, but that's the thing. But
Anyway.
they have like 4 different storylines they're going through, and it seems like they could have made one movie out of any one of them, and instead of making 4 movies, they made this one, and it suffered for it. It's kind of hard to care about anybody because like you spend 3 or 4 minutes with them, and then you get a little like flashbacky backstory scene, and then they got to go on to somebody else because there's 83 characters in this movie, and they all got to get their little flashbacky scene. So like it's kind of confusing to watch, and you don't really end up caring about anybody. I mean, like you want Michelle Yeoh to win because you recognize her from the first movie. You want Donnie Yen to win because he's Donnie Yen, and and that's about it. You just anyone else could live or die, and it doesn't even really matter. They do murk like 8 people into the main characters, and it's just like.
The only one I was sad to see go was the big roly poly,
the fat drunkard with the shield and the crazy curved sword.
But I mean, he was like funny in the way that he might as well just have said, you know, I've got 3 days until retirement and I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
And my estranged son just got in contact with me.
Right. My wife is just giving birth to my second baby who I've never seen.
It's really telegraphed. is what we're trying to say.
And I mean, like the only thing they really didn't do was just write "I'm going to die" on his chest.
Yeah,
I suppose that would have been easier.
I mean, some of the other characters died, and I couldn't care less.
Yeah, the throwing knives guy.
And that's a problem in a film like this. You know, you're supposed to be like, oh, I like that dude.
Right.
Not just like, we got 92 other characters.
Yeah, there's a little pin throwing girl and throwing knives guy and what was his name? Thunderclap.
Yeah. Thunderclap Lightning Man.
Well, he was like the man with the iron fists. And actually, though, if they would have got that guy to play the man with the iron fist instead of the RZA, I probably would have been much happier with the movie. That movie.
Okay, I had to check it just to make sure Shaolin Fat isn't dead.
He's not dead?
No.
Oh, yeah, not in real life.
No, yeah, not in real life. Yeah. Okay, oh, Jesus, man.
I
thought you were saying, like, Shaolin Fat died, and I was like,
God.
What? How did I miss that shit?
No, he died in the other movie. Goodness sake.
Okay.
See, this is the problem with you watching wrestling, because you think everything is real.
Oh, God, no. When Santa Claus coming?
Oh, my God. Shaolin Fat's not dead.
Okay.
No shit.
I was going to say, damn, son. Full disclosure, I had to liquor up my coffee to get through this film.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
Mm.
The
first 20 minutes is really painful.
But to its credit, we already got this because you already had paid for your Netflix subscription.
Yeah.
So it's not like it actually costs you anything to watch this movie other than the time you wasted watching it.
Yeah, and my also apparent heart attack because you said Shaolin Fat was dead.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And Dan will believe apparently anything you tell him,
you know,
as long as it's a little liquored up.
Best Shaolin sofa ever.
I think so. I'm really enjoying this one. But yeah, again, Michelle Yeoh still got it. Donnie Yen he doesn't age visibly, so I mean, they're still just great, and it's always good to see them working. But this movie was not it.
Yeah. It's just the whole thing is just kind of shoddy looking.
Yep. I mean, yeah, for as epic as the first one was, this like being the comeback to it, I was really hoping that this would get me amped up for the Iron Fist show.
Yeah, no.
Because I mean, it's a Netflix original, and I was like, if they do something super cool with this,
and it has a guy named Iron Fist in it. So,
no, that was Thunderclap.
Thunderclap, Iron Fist.
I just called him Iron Fist because he wore.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, no, this wasn't that good.
No,
you could tell they're like B kung fu actors. You could tell.
No, and I say it looks shoddy. I mean, even though I reference like Dragon Inn, which was shot on a very low budget and stuff like that, but those still had a feel. You know, it had an epic. You know, like this guy comes to town and these guys are going to town. These guys, I mean, half of them just can't fight to save their lives on screen.
Right.
I mean, it's just.
Oh, we haven't talked about
the back scratcher, man.
Oh my goodness, this dude fights with 2 back scratchers. That's all they are. They're like Ravenclaw little things, but you know, on 2 little sticks, but yay long. They're back scratchers.
I mean, I know there's probably some precedent in that, and I've seen like the sticks about yay long used in fighting before, but it just looked like it's like I need a weapon, and some guy gives him like his grandma's back scratcher. Like, found these behind the couch, buddy.
Antique back scratchers are pretty well made. Here you go. It's like I guess I could use this. You can mess some people up with these back scratchers.
Yeah, raw. I mean, the actual ensuing fight wasn't bad.
No, that was probably one of the Donnie Yen. That was the Donnie Yen fight.
Yeah, except that it ends with the guy falling on his own back scratcher.
And yeah,
which just it doesn't. I mean, if it's like a sickle that somehow magically landed like straight up, I'd believe it. But
well, I mean, also like in that same fight scene, though, they're fighting on a frozen lake, and it's 2 against Donnie Yen. And one of them falls into the lake and then gets pulled out pretty quickly. But I mean, when you fall into a freezing cold lake with all of your clothes on,
as long as you're bringing this part up, I mean, he gets pulled out by Donnie Yen doing like a cartwheel over the hole and grabbing him like halfway, which. Oh yeah. Also, in like the ninja scenes in town, you can almost see like the backlot wall.
Yeah.
Or not backlot, but
the
soundstage wall, and that's just yeah.
It's no. So I wasn't a fan of this one. Oh yeah, so the kid falls into the water, gets about a foot deep, gets pulled out in the most ridiculous manner possible, and then he's totally fine. He's not even cold.
He does like ice capades off the lake onto a horse, and then rides that thing all the way back to the bad guy.
No one mentions how you just got dipped into freezing cold water. But I'm whatever. I guess it's just badass. That might just be me. Just too sensitive about this.
No, I don't think you are. Honestly.
It seems like that could have been somewhat of a plot point. It's like.
Even the the Green Destiny sword?
The green.
Okay, the green
sword definitely is what you call it.
Yeah, and even that looks cheap. It looks like the jade on the hilt is plastic.
Oh yeah,
I mean obviously plastic.
100% fake.
Yeah.
And then like that, she's holding the sword, and he's got the sheath.
Yeah.
There's nothing keeping them together except that it's a fake sword. It's just so they can do the scene faster,
It's like peace tie, like the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Got a sword, got to tie it up.
So, and then so there's this. Yeah, they're fighting in this room. It's got all kinds of pottery in it. It's the pottery room, and they're trying to stay quiet. So they're knocking down pottery, but they have to stop the fight every 10 seconds to save a piece of pottery from falling down and breaking and alerting the guards. And the scene is done very clumsily.
Yeah, I mean,
no pun intended. But like you're thinking, if Jackie Chan was there, and if Sammo Hung was there, this scene would have been 35 times better. And it's just slow and clumsy.
Yeah, it's just and they speed up the film a lot.
I wouldn't say a lot. They do it enough.
4 times.
Well, yeah, there's like 10, 15 fight scenes in this thing. But
which are good.
They do cheat. They do cheat and speed stuff up. One time I actually preferred to speed up to just because it wouldn't look cool if they did it in the real time, and it was a far enough away shot to where I was just like, it doesn't really matter. But that was just once. Otherwise, you could just really tell. Not a lot of good things to say about this movie.
And it makes me sad.
This is the movie that killed Chow Yun-Fat.
Yeah. See if there's an IMDb update. Oh God, no.
Oh God, we shouldn't joke though with all the stars that have been dropping dead lately. Funny.
We do love you, Chow Yun-Fat.
Yeah, no, he's great. I don't
Please go back to making movies in China with John Woo.
Yeah, and Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
But
good movies with swords.
Yeah, less wires. Get in the 21st century. Like do some crazy stuff, flip around and stuff. Yeah. No, it's. Is there anything else? Like, was there any other like striking?
The dialogue.
I mean, I guess you could. I guess technically it is dialogue. Sure.
Okay. The relentless speaking and backstories.
No, I didn't like the way this movie because everyone's speaking English. It's definitely them speaking English. But the movie, the problem with a lot of those, or I shouldn't say the problem with a lot of the Chinese movies, but they're written in Chinese. They're speaking Chinese when they make the movie. It's a Chinese movie.
Yeah.
And then you translate it over to English, and it doesn't exactly work. But they wrote this movie like they were translating it from the Chinese.
Yeah.
And they had them speaking English, and I was just like, who wrote this movie?
See, we thought that some of it was awkward because it was a weird translation. So we tried to move it over to Chinese with subtitles.
And the Chinese
and their lips don't match.
They dubbed the Chinese.
That's the weirdest thing.
Just for her, like British Asian chick.
Yeah.
She looks like the girl who played Chun-Li in the crappy Chun-Li movie, doesn't she?
Oh, she wasn't that bad in this movie.
But I'm saying that's who she looks like. I don't think it's her.
We should definitely cover that next week.
What, the Chun-Li movie?
Chun-Li Street Fighter movie.
Oh, I'd rather watch the regular Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme in it.
We should have watched it before we watched this one, because this would have been like a 9.
Oh, yeah. We'd have been like, God, that movie was so awesome compared to Chun-Li. No, this movie is not great. But like I said, it was direct to Netflix, so...
Oh, the one last thing. Okay, this kid has the story arc in it where he's like fighting for the bad guys, but he gets captured. And they leave him in a cage for like most of the movies, like on their courtyard.
Yeah.
And
the good guys. Leave him in a cage.
Okay. And he's supposed to have this change of heart at the end of the film. And he does.
But there's no real reason why.
And it has no dramatic effect because he does the whole change in like 10 minutes. There's so many other characters that they need to get to.
Yeah.
That it's just like, oh, you're pretty. Oh, you're kind of my sister. Oh, maybe I should fight with you. Oh, you've been injured. And that's the whole story you get with him. It's not. There's no slowness at all.
What's this comment to me? You're kind of my sister. Oh, that's great.
But it's just, I mean, that's the backstory you actually get about this dude. I'm not making anything up. That's
100%.
I didn't say that to be funny, although apparently it was.
If it would have been written in English for English people, he would have just said, "You're kind of my sister. This is weird."
But maybe if they made this into like a mini series and fleshed it out a bit, it would have been better even without having money.
And then you could definitely forgive the CG too.
Yeah, but this is only an hour and 40 minutes.
Right.
I mean, I say only, but it feels like hours.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a 2.5-hour movie.
But yeah, the way it is, I mean, the story's pretty much half of it's incomprehensible. The other half you just don't care about.
That was the other thing too. All right, so the whole thing is like everyone's fighting over this sword, which apparently you cannot lose a battle if you are in battle with that sword. You don't lose. That sword is never ever lost. That's why everybody wants it. That's why it's important. Now, at the end of this movie, Donnie Yen is fighting the big bad guy, and the big bad guy gets the sword.
Chinese Batista,
who is the bad guy in this movie, gets the sword, and then is instantly killed by Donnie Yen with another random sword. So the whole thing of this movie is completely pointless.
Yeah. Because the sword doesn't do shit.
It's not.
Then to add on that, there's a finishing soliloquy by Michelle Yeoh's character saying about how she chooses to fight for honor and she
Duty.
fights for duty and all of this.
Justice.
Yet 20 minutes before in the film, she said how sick she was of fighting and was going to take the sword away.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Like, the thing is, though, swords melt. Okay, you melt this sword down, you got no more problems because A, the sword doesn't do shit anyway, and B, all you had is a lifetime full of hassles from the stupid sword. Just melt it down.
And you just saw that the sword didn't do shit anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't do shit.
It's just I mean, that's what you get, I guess, when you take the original sword and you just make it into a cheap-ass knockoff with little plastic jade bits on the side.
The thing, too, is with cosplay in the state that it is, like, cosplay is legit. Like, if someone, by themselves, at home, can make a better product than you in a full movie, then there's an issue.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. That's the problem people had with Apocalypse. It's like, look, man, you've got guys walking around here in comic book conventions, looking better than you've got millions of dollars spent on this, and how is that possible? But yeah, this is
the effects guy was somebody's brother.
Yeah, had to be. I mean, but it's just like but that guy playing Apocalypse at the convention is just somebody's brother. You know, like that's the thing.
Yeah. But he's not the
it's not the filmmaker, juice bag, fucking pothead brother, and
$50,000 or $500,000 write-off. Right there.
So like there's no reason for the sword to look crappy. That's a little thing.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even do that. So.
And better stuntman.
Yeah, man. Stuntmen are cheap.
So the only guy you can really listen to in this entire movie is the fat drunk guy.
And maybe you're like a kindred spirit because you're a fat drunk guy and he's a fat drunk guy.
Not gonna lie.
But so ratings. How are you feeling on this one?
God. You know, I reserve like the really low for like, really trashy. Like I filmed this in my basement.
Yes.
I mean, half of this is at least decent. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 to a 5.
I'm right there with you. It is a 4.
See, because anything lower than that, I mean, you pretty much have to try to make it bad.
Right, and then also once you start going lower than that, it's to the point where it's one of those movies that you found comically good because it was so bad, so then you give it a higher rating anyway. But I don't know.
This is just kind of a chore. I mean, this is the middle of the spectrum, which I kind of loathe.
That is exactly right. It's a chore to watch this movie. 4 for chore. But that's all we got. We're gonna be watching a good movie next time. I'm not sure what it'll be, but it'll be better than this one.
That's not that hard. I mean, we just gave it a 4 and a 4.5 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, Donnie Yen's still cool.
Yeah, and it's got Donnie Yen. I mean, this is back to like demo Big Boss 2.
This scene was good, except for the foot breaking. I never understood that.
Crap.
Like
that one
around.
dude. Oh man.
But because are there all these guys doing the hokey pokey at the same time? It's like you put your right foot in, Donnie Yen steps on it. You take your right foot out. That's like the Protector,
though, when he's just breaking everybody's shoulder, wrist. Is that wrist?
Well, no, that's different though, because I mean, like you throw a punch and get your wrist broken.
Well, but see, these guys are all like standing around, and Donnie Yen's like doing like awesome Michael Jackson footwork. That's the part you don't see when it's cutting. It's easy to like moonwalking his way over to land on the other guy's feet. And
the slow motion too, I felt was a bit much. This one, there's a whole bunch of slow motion.
Yeah, don't do slow mo and speed up your film, or use them both in the same 3 minutes, because that's
All right. Yeah. We gave the movie the ratings. It's not very good, but it is for free on Netflix. You've already paid for it. It's on Netflix, and you can check it out. I guess if you're a completionist and you thought any movie you saw 15 years ago, you have to see the sequel to now.
Or if your morning is going too fast and you wanted to slow down, just pop this in and try to watch it.
Yeah, it's,
Those are hours.
It'll bring you right down. But
Yeah.
all right, that's been Shaolin Sofa. I'm Max,
I'm Dan.
and we'll catch you guys next time.